we're going to go on to Ricky Steamboat returning to the ring this November at the age of 69. Now, I've got a load written about it. Essentially, he retired in 1994 due to back problems in a match with Steve Austin, Clash of the Champions 28. He came back for a few matches in 2009. He had one in 2010. And then he's retired again. Now he's coming back at 69. Now, the reason why this is more newsworthy than it otherwise would be is that his name came up during Ric Flair's last match as his ideal last opponent. Ricky Steamboat just ruled himself out completely. And now he's getting back into the ring, so goodness knows why. But Ricky getting back into the ring at 69.
Mm-hmm. Somebody threw some cash at him to try it. And if he's in good enough shape, and I think Steamboat has stayed in pretty decent shape. But look, he's 69. Give it up. And Flair, what did I say about him a month ago or whenever he had his last match?
I'll give you the quote, shall I? He then added on his podcast, he says some preamble about Ricky Steamboat being in great shape, probably still better than half the wrestlers, that kind of thing. And then he added, Steamboat coming back makes me want to come back again. I went back up to Lincoln and started training again. What else is there to do?
Lincoln, where'd he go to? Lincoln, North Carolina or what?
Nebraska,
Lincoln.
God knows.
I don't know. I don't know what Lincoln means. But he started training. Okay.
Abe Lincoln got some tips.
Yeah, well, he did wrestle a bear, by the way. But I said about Flair a long time ago. I said, "Oh, this is his last match," and they sold out in Nashville, Tennessee, the Civic Center downtown. But I says, "Is that his last match?" I bet it's not. To somebody else throws him some money, and he'll go and he'll try it again. I do think that he wants to die in the ring. I think he'd probably be happy if he just went ahead and died in the ring. But anytime somebody hits an age, and that's what state athletic commissions used to actually be good at, is they didn't let a guy wrestle if he was over 45. They wouldn't let him wrestle, which is the only good thing they ever did, to tell you the truth. But allowing Flair to get in the ring at 72, which is not only harmful to his health, or could be, and even Steamboat getting the ring at 69, which could be harmful too. Well, the state athletic commissions, they said, no, you can't do it because you're over the age. And I do believe that. Sometimes you got to stop people from themselves. And Flair, because he needs money, or he won't miss a payday, that he wants to go back. And to me, I think it's insulting to the fans. I think you're better off. I think he's better off starting a GoFundMe. I think if he started a GoFundMe, say, give me the money and I won't wrestle again. So I think he would stop from embarrassing himself and embarrassing the fans that went to see him. Seeing Flair in that last match wasn't a good look. Hell, I thought he was going to die at one point. And and I may have said it on this show too, that, he said he didn't remember it because he was passed out, knocked out half the time. I guarantee you he doesn't remember. I don't know how long the match was, 10 minutes maybe. Well, he don't remember maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of it. And the rest of it, he was just cloudy and foggy in the corner or wherever he was. Would you believe
it wasn't even 10? It was something like 28. It went forever. And he doesn't remember half of it.
It went 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think it went over 20 minutes. Yeah, it was very, very slow. There was a lot of not very much action. And then Ric Flair was passed out for quite a few minutes of it.
Well, I didn't know it went 28 minutes, but the fans sitting there watching that, they said, man, they don't want to see him go out like that. It'd have been better if he was in the corner and just went in and, made a big comeback, chop, 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 chop. Everybody hits the floor and he does his strut and everybody's happy. But of course, that wouldn't been his last match. Mm-hmm. I don't know who laid that match out. I guarantee it wasn't Jeff Jarrett. And it had to be Rick. Because he spent too much time, and they should have let the other guy do the selling and Rick do the comeback. Mm-hmm. I don't know where even that philosophy came in.
It was 26:40 officially. I want to also bring up something that Ric Flair said, or reiterate, I should say. What else is there to do? That's what he said. I mean, just he cannot think of anything else to do with his life than train to wrestle at 73. Now, obviously, he's his own man. He can make his own choices. He's a big boy. But, I mean, as you said, commissions are there to stop people from themselves. But it's very telling when he says, what else is there to do? And it seems just a bit sort of, I don't know, it's very telling.
That's actually sad. I mean, Ric Flair could do a lot of things. What I think he should do is go help some charities. Go help some people who haven't been as fortunate as he's been. Bring attention to them, like orphan kids or abandoned kids or the homeless or the vets. I mean, we got a bunch of people, and I'm sure you have them in the UK too. We have quite a big, not a big proportion of the population, but a lot of people down on their luck. They don't have a place to live. They don't have enough food. The kids are running wild. So I think if he lent his efforts to helping those people, he could get them a lot of publicity, and he could help them. And I think he's been involved in wrestling, and that's all he's ever known is the wrestling business. But he finds it hard to get out of it. Sometimes I heard a story, an old timer told me a long time ago, and Flair is a prime example of it. He said, it's not how did you get into wrestling, it's how do you get out of wrestling. Because after you've been, and I'm the same way. After you've been exposed and you've done pro wrestling most of your life, doing something else is actually scary. Because if you have to go make a living, you say, I don't know if I can do this.
I've got a tasteless joke. Why doesn't Ric Flair, his charity could be raising awareness for haemophilia, because he blades so much and bleeds a lot.
And that was another thing he shouldn't have done. That was, because you could look at some of those people, and some of them really were scared he's going to make it out in one piece or alive. But what a great story that would be. I'm saying, what if he'd have died in that match? Now people tell all their stories. But like I said, I think he has a wish, a hidden wish. That's where he goes.
Why is it so hard to get out of wrestling? Is it just the roar of the crowd? Is it the lifestyle?
Well, a lot of times guys make, just a fortune. And if they have to drop out and go do something else, well, they still make good money. But yet they're not making good money. And when they walk into a room, they don't have the spotlight on them. Boom. And the room darkens down and the music plays and you can walk and you have all these thousands and thousands of adoring fans. Hey, we love you, man. They miss that. I've often said that if they could take that feeling, and every wrestler, well, not every wrestler, I'm sure, but every wrestler has felt like being in the spotlight. It's a great feeling. If they could take that feeling and market it in a drug, it'd be a $1 billion seller, because that feeling cannot be replicated in any other way. You have to, even race car drivers don't get that because they can't hear the crowd because the car is running. But you walk out into an arena with 20,000 or a stadium of 80,000 people, and you hear that mad scream and rush and roar of the crowd. Yeah, it's exhilarating, and it's sometimes I think that's where wrestlers get an exalted sense of really who they are, and sometimes that spills over into the dressing room, and that's when they have problems. But I think they don't want to get out. They don't want to lose the money. And then they don't want to, now they're living another lifestyle.